Hey, welcome to Principal Whip Around 2.0. We are excited that you are joining us in this session. My name is Ryan Eckhart, and we will be joined by Ross Braun, Leslie Moulton, and Amy Yost to share some new and exciting ideas that we have going on at our schools, and we hope you can take something fun away. So we're excited to get started and share with you Principal Whip Around 2.0.
Hello, my name is Ross Braun, and I am the proud principal at Monroe Central Elementary, located in beautiful Parker City, Indiana. And today, for my first session of our Principal Whip Around, I want to tell you about my family. So, this mini session is going to be all about how you build a culture of family within your building. So here we go. Let's open up my secret diary. So what is family? Well, according to the Oxford Dictionary, family is a group of one or more parents and their children living together as a unit. Well, to me, I can think of our school and I can picture that being our family. Or the Merriam-Webster Dictionary says that a family is a group of people united by certain convictions or common affiliations. 1000%. I believe that is our school, and that is what our school family is all about. We are under one common goal, and we're going to dive into that a little deeper. So, that's what family is. We know today, when you look at that picture, family can come in all sorts of sizes, shapes, and colors, all kinds of different backgrounds. Family looks different everywhere you look, and that is what I love about family. So, why family? Why is a culture of family important? One, family supports you. Two, family is there for you to cheer you on. I think back to my high school glory days, and I look up in the stands. I had a whole section up there. There's grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles and cousins, and of course mom and dad, and they were there even if I turned it over 10 times or if I had 20 points and 10 assists that game. They were there to cheer me on regardless. Family is there to lift you up. We had those bad games, and you're having a bad day. Your family is there to lift your spirits. They keep you grounded. Maybe you're getting your heads a little big. They're there to keep you grounded and make sure that you stay true to who you are. Your family challenges you, and I'm so proud of my family and the family I'm going to talk to here at school. They challenge me to be a better leader every single day. Family fills your buckets. There's no doubt about that. I talk a lot about balance in our lives, and I go to my family. I even go to my school family, and they fill my bucket up. And then family is there when no one else is. We all have those lonely days and days that we just need someone to lean on, and you can always go to family. So this is my family. This is my world, my rock. That is my wife, Mackenzie. She's a kindergarten teacher here at Monroe Central Elementary. It's our daughter, Frances, who's a second grader here. Evelyn, who just started kindergarten here at MCE. And then Ripton Lance. Rip just turned 1 year old. So that is my family. That's who I go home to each and every night. But this is my MCE family. This is who I'm in the trenches with every single day here in our school building. This is who we are changing. This is who I'm changing lives with every single day. So our annual Bitmoji picture here, and look at these great people. Everyone from our custodians to our cafeteria workers to our interventionists and our teachers and school counselor and SRO. Everybody is in this picture. And that's what we say here. It takes a village and it takes a family to do what we are doing. So why and how did we build this MCE family? That's what we're going to talk about today. But I also want to talk about this. Our MCE family isn't just the folks that you saw in that Bitmoji picture. Our MCE family is all 600 students. They're included in this family. It's Mr. Mowdy, who we have an awesome partnership with Cowboy Ethics. He's part of our family, and he knows that. It's like our community coming together when we got our blow up combine and corn maze out there. It's our athletic teams who we're supporting. It's myself and our SRO cooking lunch last year for all of our staff members. It's our third grade team ready to rock the I Read 3 test. It's our Little League Baseball celebrating their win in their championship game. It's Mr. Chamness taking his class to go see a theater performance. This is what family looks like here at MCE. So how do you build this? How did we build this here at MCE? Starts with respect, I believe. Respect is built each and every single day. We're continuing to build respect within our family. That respect is also modeled every single day within the adults in this building, because guess what? The kids are watching the adults every single second of every single day. How are we interacting with each other, and how are we interacting with the students here? We speak to them, we acknowledge them, and we focus on building relationships, not just with our students, but within our family, within the adults here. We're continuing to find ways to get to know each other and support each other in better ways. We resolve conflicts the right way. It's not behind each other's backs. It's not their email. We prefer, let's have a face-to-face conversation. And there are going to be differences. There's going to be conflict. This is a school with over 80 staff members and 600 students coming to it every single day. It's not going to be perfect, but when we have those conflicts, let's resolve them the right way. Let's own our mistakes and let's talk about them. So respect, it's number one, if you ask me. Number two, it's built on love. We built this family on love. Again, it's modeled every single day. Again, we talk about this. It's no secret. Our teachers tell our students, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Or I love you. I missed you over the weekend. How was your weekend? And that's okay. Kids come up to you and say, you know what, I love you, Mr. Braun. And I say, I love you too. They know that they are one of my children. Yes, I have 3 kids at home, but I've got 600 kids here in this school building. We provide this for our family as if they are one of our own kin. You care, and I mean truly care, not just say, how's your day going, but follow up, how's your mom doing? I know she's sick, she's in the hospital, how's it going? Or I know your husband's been having some health scares. How is that going? Follow up and truly care about each other. And you show up. You're there each and every day, whether that's at school, whether that's outside of the school. Recently went to a wedding for one of our special education teachers, and she was surprised that I showed up. And I said, no, you're part of our family. I'm here to support you. And then compassion. I can't emphasize this enough. Put yourself in others' shoes, whether it's your students or the adults in this building. It wasn't until I realized this, that there are adults in our building going through things that I never could have imagined, and I put myself in their shoes. This opened up doors in our building and building a family, and within my own leadership journey. We help each other out. Like I said, inside the school, outside of the school, we're there for each other. We reason with each other. We care about each other. And again, we model this every single day, because who's watching? All 600 of those little eyes. So I love this little graphic here. The student says, teacher, I really like you. And he says, great. Well, what do you like about the teacher? And the student says, she makes me feel important. So what other ways do we build a culture of family here? We have common goals, we support each other, and we have a clear vision. A couple examples of that. Every Sunday I send out a weekly s'mores newsletter. It covers everything for the week and ahead, gives a staff shout out. We look at some motivation. I provide a resource every week. But one of the things from in that weekly is a staff check-in. And it says each week on a scale of something. This week it was Harry Potter. How are you feeling this week as we head into the week? And they can check it, but they can also put what they're feeling or what's going through. They can also put on there, do they want to sit down and talk sometime this week? Would they like me to pop in during their prep and just have a chat? So we support our teachers and support each other. And then we came up with this last year on our PD day. We came up with this together. What was our vision for MCE? We really want to focus on 4 or 5 things. We came up with that we want to educate the whole child. We want to provide a safe and loving space. We want to build community and continue to grow and improve. And we want to be the best, and we still want to be the best. So that was our clear vision that we came up with. We also talk about chasing greatness. Everybody here has bought into this. We are chasing greatness individually, as a classroom, as a school, as a community. We want to get better every single day. Then we have a theme each year. Last year's theme was we were for the brand. Goes along with our cowboy ethics. 2 years ago, we had a space theme. And we talked about this was a popular song then. Anything you can do anything you want to. There's footprints on the moon. And then this year we came up with 3 greatness goals to go along with our chasing greatness mindset. And each teacher came up with their 3 greatness goals for the year. Mine's posted on my door right outside so everybody can see. So I know I'm out of time. Family builds a culture of get to instead of have to. For me, as a principal at Monroe Central Elementary, it is my goal every single day that students, staff, teachers, everybody that has to come here every day doesn't feel that way. They wake up in the morning and they say, I get to go to school today. Not I have to go to school or have to go to work. It's a I get to. And I firmly believe that the family culture that we have built here at MCE reflects that. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Hello, my name is Leslie Moulton. I'm the proud and honored principal here at Selma Elementary School in Delaware County. Here to share with you a little bit today about ways that we celebrate our student success. So I titled my presentation today, Cheer Squad. We like to say around here, Go Braves. So Selma Elementary is a school of about 550 students. We're in grades K through 5, and I'm serving as my 5th year as the principal here with about 75 staff members on our team. So one thing we try to do is just highlight our students and celebrate them whenever possible. So that's what I'm going to share about today. Our first exciting thing we love to do is our good news call of the day. I implemented this my first year here. I was coming off of 5 years as an assistant where I wasn't always making the positive contact to home. Usually those were, frequently reactive to situations, and just wanted to be very deliberate about focusing on positive things that were happening and good phone calls home. So we have nomination forms. Anyone on our staff can nominate a student for a good news call. They turn that into the office. We draw one out each morning and call the student up on announcements. We recognize them for whatever they did right. They come up and get a bracelet, they get a treat, and we make a phone call home to whoever they would like to. Our big mantra and the thing that we live by here is do the right thing, treat people right. And so we love to use this platform in order to highlight students that are doing the right thing. Next up is along the same lines, Bus Rider of the Week. Same thing. You can get bogged down sometimes by those bus behaviors when all the contact you have with the drivers is when things are going wrong. So we have asked our drivers to focus on things that are going right on the bus and students that are exhibiting great behavior. So again, we give our bus drivers all a little nomination form and they turn them in. We draw one out on Fridays and call that student up, recognize them on announcements, and we do tweet out both of these, bus rider and good news call, with parent permission. So it's been a good way to showcase good behavior, and I think it also encourages the other students who hear what's going on to step it up too. Next up is our Cafeteria Golden Spoon Award. So, you know what the lunchroom can be like. So, we are trying to focus on that positive again. And each week we select a class that has exhibited great behavior in the cafeteria. That could be volume level, keeping their area clean, all kinds of different factors go into that. So, we have our lunch aides and the staff that are in there kind of collaborate, and we nominate a class each week. You can see the picture there of the smiles and the golden spoon, and then they get a small certificate that they can keep and post in their classroom to show that they were a golden spoon winner. Then we have our student of the month. So we are a class school here. We focus on those class lifelines, and each month we try to showcase one. We make announcements about that over the PA with our morning announcements, and then we also have our student of the month. So through a Google form, teachers nominate a student for student of the month. At the end of the month, usually on the last Friday, we read all their names on announcements. They come up to the office, they get a certificate. We usually buy some donuts or some type of a fun snack and take a big picture of all of our students of the month. And that has been a really fun way for us to celebrate those kids that are doing the right thing. Next up, we love issuing academic challenges and then celebrating those. So, one thing that we have noticed, and I've noticed it over 10 years in admin, is that students who finish those study island objectives really do have a better understanding of the standards. So, second semester, we issue a challenge for our kids to finish their math and ELA objectives. If they finish one or the other, then they get to come to a pizza party, usually in April or May. We always try to have it done by April 15th. Of course, that hits us before iLearn. So if we're going to make sure they've mastered them all, we get it done before then. So they get a pizza party if they finish math or reading. And if they finish both, then they get the pizza party. And we take them on a field trip during the day to a food, like an ice cream establishment right down the road. And they get to pick anything they want off the menu. So that has been a lot of fun. And every year we've done it here, it's grown. I think we needed 2 buses last year to take our kids down for their ice cream. Next up, math fact fluency. That has been identified for us as a school improvement goal last year. And we are continuing on it this year just because our kids do better on their math standards and complex math if they aren't searching for those math facts. So we have focused that as a school. Every classroom and every student spends 5 minutes a day on math fact fluency. And then each grade level set benchmarks. Most of them use extra math, but not always. But they set semester benchmarks for students to reach. And if they do, they get invited to our reward party for math fact fluency at the end of the semester. So we did this in December last year. We had like 40% of our students there to celebrate. We had all kinds of fun things going on. And then in May, we did the same thing. I think we had about half of our students, and we had inflatables in and snow cones, and it was just a really fun opportunity to celebrate the kids and their success. They also get a certificate and a medal to wear around their neck if they meet that fact fluency benchmark. All right, finally, just look for opportunities every day to celebrate your kids. We never should underestimate the power of them coming up and showing you their score or showing you their certificate or reading a book to you. And all of those little things do make a huge difference and just help our kids feel seen and heard and valued. So here's a few pictures of examples of ways that we do that. We take them out for recess just because, we want to celebrate things that they've done. We have some teachers that have gotten on board and they give kids popcorn parties for good things, all kinds of rewards and celebrations. So I thank you for watching today. Thank you, IASP, for allowing me the opportunity to share, and keep up the great work, because I have no doubt that all of you could share new ideas with me too about ways that we celebrate our students. Thanks for watching. Take care. And go Braves.
Hey everybody, Ryan Eckert here, principal of Red Cedars Elementary School. And this session I want to talk about student leadership. At every level in pre-K-12 and beyond, there are ways that you can empower kids to have leadership. And I believe that that can start at the earliest level. So we are 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And I want to share a couple ways that we empower student leaders and are building that in our school. Our first thing is student ambassadors. So we have students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade that are our student ambassadors. And these students were selected really because in the first few weeks of school, observing all of our kids in our cafeteria, these kids were standouts. So they were respectful and responsible, really nice to the people around them, kind and polite. And they had no idea that we were looking for student ambassadors. But we kind of just picked them based on their interactions with other people and their attitude in the cafeteria at lunch. So they were really excited to get selected. Like I said, they're in third, fourth, and fifth grade. And we have monthly meetings and kind of treat it like a big boardroom meeting where they get to come down to the office, sit in the boardroom, and we just talk about like what's going on at school. And we may have a couple things that are coming up, like special programs or building tours or anything like that that we're prepping them for and training them for. But we also get their guidance and feedback about how they feel things are going at school. What are their perceptions? They help us get a status of the school. We're a new building this year, so they were part of our ribbon cutting ceremony. They gave tours to the public. They were really excited about this. When we have new students come and we give orientation tours, our student ambassadors are the ones that help show the student around, show them the ins and outs of the building, and help them become familiar and maybe, hopefully, a little bit more comfortable at school. Like I said, here's a picture of our student ambassadors talking with our superintendent, cutting the ribbon at the ribbon cutting. They're really taking this leadership role on and kind of running with it. We're giving them a little guidance and answering their questions and seeing what we can do, but they're the ones prompting us, hey, when are we going to meet next time? Can we talk about this? When's this going to happen? Like, what do you think about having this at our school? So they're giving ideas and giving a lot of input, which is really exciting because we want the school to be a place that they feel like they have a say and feedback in what goes on here. Another student leadership opportunity that we do is our news crew. So we have students apply to be on our news crew, and we also have teacher nominations. And typically it's about 2 kids from each class at a certain grade level, depending on the highest grade. This year it's 5th grade. And they come down and do the news every day at school. So whether it's on the intercom with old school phone, or whether it's on our YouTube live, or whether it's recording and then we upload and edit and we video with our green screen. Those are 3 different ways that we've done the news so far in the last several years. But the kids write the script, they take in all the information that they need to synthesize for the news and the announcements. They put it together. They decide who has what role. One of our students a couple of years ago at the K-5 level took on the director role. The adults weren't able to be in there when they were filming one morning, and he stepped right up and kind of like just took on the show. And from that day on, he was the director. And so he trained everybody, made sure everybody was doing their job. It's really exciting to see the kids take ownership in things that are going on at school. We also have family fun nights and what we call Friday Night Live. And so students typically are participating in those fun things. But often we get kids that say, hey, I want to help. I want to do something as a job. And so we have leaders that are not assigned specific things like student ambassador or news crew, but we have kids that say, we want to help. What can we do? So here's a couple kids at our family fun night serving food, a couple kids helping at morning drop off, just helping kids in and out of vehicles, in and out of the building, taking them to their classrooms. Kids are always looking for ways to help. And we need to make sure that we're putting it out there for them to have an opportunity to help and having an opportunity for more and more kids to help to build that leadership capacity in our school with our kids. So your challenge is reflect on what you already have going on for leadership in your building and create a new leadership opportunity or expand on something that you already have going. Let's see if you can do it, and make sure when you do, you share it with everybody. Have a great day, guys.
Hi, my name is Amy Yost. I am the principal at Edison Elementary School. I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about mentorship today. So I think you've all read this quote before. Every kid is one caring adult away from being a success story. I definitely relate to that in my own life. And I encourage you to pause, take a minute, and think about who has mentored you throughout your childhood into adulthood and the impact that that has had, because that's going to be our focus for today. All right, we're going to talk about 3 different types of mentorship that I have implemented and worked through in a variety of the buildings that I've worked at. So the first one is community mentors. Which can be one-on-one mentorship or group mentorship. The second one is staff mentors, which typically has served as one-on-one mentors. And the third one, the one that we're going to spend the most amount of time on today, are those student mentors, so that peer mentorship group. All right, so we pulled in community mentors, and that has been extremely beneficial. If you are not familiar with Kids Hope, I encourage you to do a little research on that. At my previous school, we actually partnered up with a local church, and they provided some Kids Hope mentorships to us. They came in during recess, during lunch, and worked with our students one-on-one on homework, played games with them, and that was on a weekly basis. We've also pulled in parents for mentorship opportunities, local officials, so you'll see some police officers there, and then career-driven mentors. So really encouraging community mentors to come into the buildings and speak with students about different career paths that they can go on is going to be extremely valuable to our students. The second type of mentorship we're going to talk about are staff mentors. So we've done a buddy system, and we've also done support our students program. So I am going to encourage you to really look at your student behavior data. So what we've done in the past, what I've done at different buildings, is we look at our frequent flyers. We pull behavior data, and we see who's getting suspended frequently. We see who's in the office frequently. We give those kids a survey, and the survey asks them a variety of questions. Probably the most important is, can you think of an adult in the building who loves and cares about you? If yes, what is their name? If they can't identify an adult in the building, then we really have some work to do, right? Because that is the focus of what we all do. We want every single student to be able to identify at least one adult in the building that loves and cares about them. And if they are able to identify that person, we'll try to partner them up. We try to partner students up with someone they identify already as someone who cares about them, because there's a lot more buy-in. If they're not able to identify someone, then we look for someone who's going to be a good match. And those people check in with those students frequently. Sometimes during lunch, sometimes during recess. We do a check-in, check-out system sometimes with our buddy mentors. And that has had a huge impact. Oftentimes, if a student is having a difficult time in the classroom, rather than send them out with an office referral, the teacher will send them to a buddy teacher, to their buddy system that they have in place to just give that kid a break, to check in with them, to see what's going on. Those mentorships can be really, really key in the moment as well. And the third type of mentorship is student mentorship. So those peer mentors, that's what we're going to spend the majority of our time today talking about. So let me give you a little background on where this came this year. Last year was our first year having sixth grade in our elementary buildings. And as you can imagine, that was quite a change for us. So we are Head Start through sixth grade, roughly 650 students in the classroom or in the building. And that was a huge shift for us. Last year and the beginning of this year, we saw a huge increase in behavior issues in those sixth grade classrooms. We saw a lot of suspensions happening and a lot of fights happening, specifically during those unstructured times. Who would have guessed, right? So things like recess, lunch, any transition in the hallway was a difficult time for our students. And we also noticed post-COVID a lot of dysregulated behavior in our primary students. So they were having a rough time in the classrooms as well. We lost our kindergarten aides last year, or the beginning of this year. So that was a struggle. So we worked with our student support specialists, and we created this student ambassador program. So our sixth grade recess was essentially restructured into a different type of setting where we pinpointed student needs, and that time was spent on those needs. And one of the things that we saw was harnessing the leadership skills in about 15 to 20 students that we saw could really be a resource to other students in the building. Some of these students were A students, never in trouble, but some of these students were students who were maybe in the office quite a bit, but showed this leadership potential. So we worked to create a student ambassador programs, and those students now support our kindergarten, first, second, and third grade classrooms. So all of our teachers have maybe 1 to 2 student ambassadors in them, and those students go in, they're teaching, they're helping, they're assisting, they're working on modeling behavior expectations. They worked closely and were trained closely by our student support specialists, so they know the expectation. And we've just seen a tremendous shift in all of our students who are participating, both mentors and mentees. We were really reflective and took teacher feedback, student feedback. We have a lot of parent buy-in with this program. Our students and teachers completed a contract to make sure the expectations were clear, that these students weren't coming in to make copies or do busy work. They were coming in to work with students. And so we definitely have that happening right now. We've got students, they'll go into the kindergarten classrooms and they're working with students on tying their shoes, like learning those skills that it's difficult for a kindergarten teacher to do that now. You know, there's a focus on these standards, that some of those skills, those socializing skills, learning how to play together, our student ambassadors are really a support to those skills that maybe our students are coming in lacking right now. And it's just been incredible to see. These are some of our mentors when they were first getting to know their mentees. And the results. You know, we wouldn't do this if we weren't seeing results. So we're going to talk about that piece. Our results, we have seen a significant reduction in sixth grade suspensions. We are not getting kids sent to the office during that recess time anymore with office referrals. There is such a buy-in. The vast majority of our sixth grade students want to serve as an ambassador. So there's a waiting list right now for students to serve in that capacity. We're getting positive feedback from our primary teachers who have student ambassadors in the program, and what a help that is to them. And we're also slowly starting to see a shift in some of our behaviors of our primary students who have peer mentors in place as well. So it's just been incredible overall to see that piece. And I'm just going to leave the statistics here because it's really telling. One I'm going to highlight is that 71% of Fortune 500 companies have mentorship programs. I wonder why that is, right? Because everyone sees the benefit in mentorship. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I can provide kind of the outline for what we use to implement the mentorship program. Have a great day. Thanks.
Hello, Ross Braun here, proud principal of Monroe Central Elementary, located in beautiful Parker City, Indiana. Here for my second session in the 2022 IASP Principal Whip Around 2.0. We're excited to be doing this again this year, and this session is titled Fostering a Love for Literacy. So let's get started. At Monroe Central Elementary, not trying to brag, but these are the results that we have had in the past few years. These are our most up-to-date iLearn and iRead results. In 2022, in the spring of 2022, we were number 6 in the entire state for iRead 3. 97.5 of our third grade students passed the iRead 3 assessment. It was 15 points above the state average, and we ranked 6 out of 372 school districts. So super proud of that. We're also above the state average in ELA in every single grade level. And we were top 10 in ELA out of 35 ECI corporations, top 5 in math out of those 35 East Central Indiana corporations at every grade level, with a math average of 15 points above the state average. So all of these things are something we're really proud of and that we have worked hard to do. But here at MCE, we ask ourselves this question: how do we still foster a love for literacy? So it's easy to drill and focus on these assessments. That's not what we have done. we have just made it our mission to foster a love for literacy and to grow readers, and the results happen. So we focus on 4 things really. And when we look at growing readers and fostering this love for literacy, we want them to fall in one of these 4 categories. We want it to be fun. We want it to ignite a spark or have students catch that reading bug. We want to give them choice, and we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to become great readers and have the opportunity to love reading. So today I'm just going to go through and give examples. It's going to be pretty quick. Feel free to reach out, email, on Twitter, to come up after the session at IASP. Talk to me about any of these things that you think may work in your school. Hopefully, you're already doing some of these things. So let's start right here with my guys, Adrian and Will, 2 4th graders here at MCE. And I think this is where we start, because these guys, they took it out on their own, and they made bookmarks this year for every single school, every single kid in the entire school. How cool is that? Why? Because they love to read, and they want to make sure everybody has a bookmark when they're reading, and they think if they have a bookmark and one that's custom to them or our school, then they're going to want to read. How cool is that? So that's it. Now, here's our first example of what we're doing as a school. A fall into reading challenge. This is something that we actually did for the first time this school year, and it was a huge hit. So this fall, we started out with a bear tree, and you can see that there. And students had to read a book, take an assessment over that book, and they got a leaf. And the challenge was whichever grade level had the most leaves, and the leaves were all color coded by grade level, then they would win a prize. So we did this for 9 school days. And our students, we have 600 students in this building. They read 1,112 books in just 9 school days, and they passed the test and the assessment over each of those books. How incredible is this? Our 2nd graders won. They read 501 books as a grade level, and on Veterans Day, they get to have a popcorn movie party. It's costing us $0 to do that, and our students rocked this reading challenge. Another thing that we did a back to school reading challenge. This was over the summer. I sent it out on social media to our last email to all the parents, and all I said, you can read it here. Hey, how's your summer going? It's about time to start thinking about school. Great way to brush up on your skills is to start reading those books if you haven't been already. Once you read your books, fill out the Google form, log this, and you're going to get some prizes. So it started out with 3 books. They got a brag tag and a shout out on the announcements, or the top prize, if they read 20 books in this amount of time, then they got pizza with the principal. So we had several students that did this. It was so cool to see. You can see I sent out a little invitation to all of them once we got back to school, and I ate a lot of pizza that day. I had a slice of pizza with all of these kids or groups of kids, and we had cartoons playing. We just hung out in our conference room, and we ate pizza during their lunch. It was fun. It cost me a lot of money, and it really sparked a love for reading. Another thing we do, instead of doing birthday pencil or just announcing their name on the announcements, we give a book to every single student on their birthday. So I've got these scholastic boxes in my office. When I call their names over the announcements, I say, all right, when your teacher says it's time, then you can come up to the office and pick out your birthday book. They get to pick out which book that they want, and it makes their day. Another way is light. So a lot of people have gotten creative, I know, with ways to close those learning gaps coming back from COVID. One thing that we did, focusing on that, but also we've learned that it has sparked a love for reading and literacy within our students and also within our teachers, is we do a light time each day. So this light time, we call it light because it's learning interventions targeted for excellence. And really our focus was, we knew that we were going to have a focus on our special ed and our RTI kids, and our high ability always gets a focus. But what about this 60%? And that's been our focus these last 2 school years. What about the 60% of students that we know have fallen behind. How do we to provide intense interventions and time to focus on each of those individual students in the light time, which is 30 minutes a day. We use data from each week to make our groups on each Friday. So the following week, we split our students within the grade levels into these 30-minute time slots, and we hammer and we focus in on their specific needs. We've got like 8 to 9 different groups during this 30-minute period. So our groups are really small, and our small groups are able to focus in on those students' needs. Love this. We've seen some amazing results from this. We also have guest readers. So guest readers come into the classroom to read. Sometimes it's parents, other times it's siblings. Our athletic ambassadors come down from the high school and read. Our superintendent comes down and reads. And even I love to go into classrooms, sometimes dressed up as Mike Wazowski, into this Disney-themed classroom to read a book to these first graders. Another way is we give a book literally for everything. At MCE, we do brag tags, and it is huge. Kids love brag tags, and they do everything they possibly can to earn these brag tags. And we make it a big deal when they get their Bear Positive, is what we call them. For every 3 brag tags, they get to come up to the office. We do the good news call home, and we celebrate them. And they get different prizes for each of those tiers that they're at. The first thing that they get is a book, and they know that. And I tell them as soon as they come in, pick out your book first before you get your water bottle, your t-shirt, your yard sign. You get your book first, and they love doing this. We fill their hands, their bedrooms, their houses with books. That is our mission. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and this is going to be hard for not to spill over here, is a book blast. This is something that we started this year, and it was a huge success. It's from Books Are Fun, and the idea of this is to raise money. It's a no-touch system for you all at your school, which is one of the reasons I loved it. And at the end of the day, we raised over $26,000. Donations came from all over the country for our Golden Bears. We had teachers, 8 of our teachers earned a $100 book shopping spree for their classroom. Our librarian got over 70 new books for the library. Our students took home over 3,000 books in one day. 7 other students were able to earn shopping sprees where they went on and got books as well. I get to spend almost $4,000 purchasing books. When it's all said and done, we're going to have almost 5,000 books that are getting into the hands of our Golden Bears, thanks to an incredible community that we live in, incredible support system that we have for our students. They are getting books. So book blast, some pictures here. This was the day that the books came in. It was like Christmas. They're all individually wrapped for each individual student. Oh, did I say that every single student, whether they participate or not, get at least one book? You're guaranteed every single student in your school gets at least one book. They can earn up to 10 books, and they're all individually wrapped. They came in, they tore into them like it was Christmas morning. That's my daughter there with her stack of books at home that evening. She was so excited and so proud. She couldn't wait to get into her room and start reading those books. When I say it was like Christmas morning, it was like Christmas morning. Check out this video. How awesome is that? Here's another video. I'm not kidding. Christmas morning. This is from our first grade classroom. He got 8 books. Well, that's all that I have today. My question for you as you leave this session, how will you grow lifelong readers? Again, feel free to reach out. You've got my Twitter handle, my email up there as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. As we say around here, go Bears.
Hi there. This is Leslie Moulton again from Selma Elementary. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about little things that we can do that are really big to our staff. So, ways that we show our staff some love. So, little things. Here's a few examples of some little things that we do around here to show our staff how much we love them. When we have payday, you get those pay stubs to deliver. Always take something around to the teachers with it. There's a few examples here. It might be a cookie, a candy bar, a piece of pie. I've taken a Hershey Kiss or a chocolate, just any little thing to go along with that pay stub when I hand it to them to make them feel a little extra love. Piece of gum, anything. Next up, staff cart. This is one of our favorites, and I think it does really make our teachers feel appreciated. So we have a coffee cart. We usually my assistant and I will decorate it up and deliver either coffee or tea. We've done hot cocoa. We've done a root beer float. You can see the pictures there. You can also see an example of a tweet that one of our teachers put out. Just the appreciation. We wrote her name on there and a message just like you get at Starbucks. We even made our own cup label that we put around those just to make it fun. For birthdays, we like to celebrate by decorating people's doors, put a note on their desk. We have monthly carry-ins to celebrate birthdays, just anything to make them feel a little extra special. New teachers. This one hits close to me because I remember my first year of teaching, and there were definitely highs and lows there. I know our new teachers feel that too. So we need these folks. So we encouraging them. One thing that my first principal did, Joe Stokes, I don't know if you know him, he was wonderful, but I remember he was in my room all the time, probably once a week, which I've tried to do that for my new staff too, just to give them validation and some encouragement. But his feedback to me was so simple. It was just a note card and flare pen and 2 or 3 words like, "You make a difference. Wow, loved this, loved that." And he would leave one in my mailbox about once a week. And that was so validating to me as a new teacher. So I try to remember that and give our new teachers a lot of positive feedback. Even if it's 1 or 2 words, it doesn't have to be anything formal. Again, the emails that reinforce that. Another thing I love to do, and again, I had it for me as a first year teacher, and it meant a lot. When we get a new teacher on board or staff member, I let our current teachers know over the summer, and they have the opportunity to bring something in for a new teacher basket. That can be anything from office supplies to bulletin board materials. I remember vividly after my first week of teaching, somebody had put some candy in there, some chocolate, and I'm telling you, I remember ripping into that after school one day when things were not exactly like I thought they would be coming out of college. So we've continued that here at Selma, and we love it. It's just a really nice thing we present to our teachers on that first work day, and I think it just gets them off to a feeling very welcome. Here's a few monthly things that we like to do. So in December, we have a big countdown to Christmas. The 12 days school days prior to Christmas, we have a dress up theme for all of our staff and make it all kinds of fun. Sometimes there are snacks or treats to go along with that. In March, we have a March Madness. We have a fantastic tech specialist, and she creates some type of March Madness challenge for teachers every year. This past year, we focused only on self-care. We did not put anything. A lot of years, it's like a Canvas challenge or do this and do that. And last year, it was just take care of yourself because we knew our teachers were needing that. May, of course, teacher appreciation. We make that big. I'm sure all of you do too. Here's just a few pictures and examples of things we do. We try to have something for them every day of the week. Our PTO helps drastically with that as well. And it's all kinds of fun. Next up, celebrate everyone. Don't forget any of the players in your building. They all make a difference. So we have a list there of some of the school appreciation days that we'll be celebrating this year. And then there's a few pictures as well. So the balloon picture was for our counselor for National Counselors Day. We had various staff members through a Google form write a little note for her. And then we were able to tie those to balloons and surprise her when she walked in the morning. It was really, really special for her. Bus drivers, do not forget those folks. So we had the sign gypsies come in, put a sign just when the bus drivers came to surprise them and appreciate them. The year one in a melon was Lunch Hero Week. And so we decorated their door to show them the appreciation. And of course, all the teacher appreciation stuff. Don't forget your SROs, your custodians, your aides. Everybody needs celebrated. So here's a few extra things we do just for individuals. Anytime we go into a classroom, we give them a handwritten note that we leave on their desk when we leave. That's immediate positive feedback only, just something to make them know that you noticed some good things. There's a couple examples there. We also do that frequently after walkthroughs. Sometimes just for fun, we'll put a handwritten note in their mailbox. There's a jeans pass there. We've done good news calls for our staff before, which is a lot of fun. And we've even called their parents and told them the good news, which is a great time. We've given them an extra prep or recess coverage, just things for individuals to recognize them and make them feel loved. Whole group, we've said leave when your kids leave. Don't work over break. Random jeans days. We love to do coffee, tea, jeans when we come back from a break. We just did that last week when we came back from fall break. It was a surprise. On Sunday, they got a text, hey, wear your jeans tomorrow. We had several thank yous for that. Of course, food and snacks always talk, bringing in lunch, carry-in staff outings. So there's just a few pictures. There's a picture of our coffee cart and our coffee cups as well. All right, last up, staff meetings. Don't have them unless you need them. Be brief. I try to share the slides ahead of time so we can maximize that time and make the meeting part short. We always start with some type of celebration, and sometimes you're pulling that out because after school, when the meeting starts, it gets quiet. But pull those celebrations out so that everyone knows what's going on in each other's lives. When I came, our fifth grade teachers weren't sure where everyone's rooms were in first grade because they just didn't mesh that much. And so we've really tried to build that community and family. We always start with something fun to build unity. We're focusing this year on those focused attention practices. So we're trying to encourage our teachers to use those. So we're using those at the beginning of our staff meetings as well. Definitely don't have a meeting without food. And then one thing I love to do is move our meetings around to different classrooms so that everyone in the building gets to be in other people's classrooms. And that also gives you a chance to showcase the great things happening in areas of the building that they might not usually frequent. So to me, the most important job I have as a building leader is to love my staff so that my staff can love my kids. So it's a great opportunity, and I definitely count that as a blessing and a privilege. Thanks for watching. Keep up the great work that you are doing in your building, and I would love to have your ideas shared with me because I'm always looking for new ways to appreciate our staff. Thank you, IASP, for the opportunity to present, and thanks all of you for watching. Take care.
Hey, everybody. My name is Ryan Eckhart, and I'm the principal of Red Cedars Elementary School in Cedar Lake, Indiana, part of the Hanover Community School Corporation. Red Cedars is a brand new school this year, which is really exciting. We are grades 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We have about 630 kids. We have 2 elementary schools, a middle school, and a high school in our district. And so over the last several years, we're getting a ton of growth in our area. So we passed a referendum a couple of years ago and built a new building and regrouped all of our grade spans. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th for the entire district is in our brand new building, Red Cedars Elementary. So one thing that we did this year and are processing through and working on is a school-wide house system, which is really exciting. And I want to go through some of the reasons to do this and things we've tried so far that have worked really well, and just the excitement that it's built. So initially, having a house system, just like Harry Potter, gets a lot of people excited because it's a place and a function that is something that everyone can belong to, no matter what their interests are or what grade they're in or what they teach. Staff members and kids are all assigned to a house. So we got some staff members together that were interested in coming up with all kinds of ideas. And so we brainstormed a couple of times in the summer and before school started, and then came up with lists of things we wanted to do and questions we had and things we wanted to work through. We also talked to a neighboring school that has been doing this for a couple of years and got some ideas from them, pick their brains, find out what works for them, what they try and what doesn't work for them. So we decided with 630 kids, we wanted to have 4 houses. So we have 4 houses, and all of our students are split up among those houses. In addition to all of our staff members are assigned to those houses as well. And so our goals are just initially to build community in those houses. So teachers and staff and kids get to know who's in their house and essentially just start rooting for their house to beat the other houses, gain points. And by starting with a friendly competition, we are getting people building community and excited about earning points for something bigger, which is their house, which has people from all across the building in it. So who's involved in the initial setup? Like I said, that was our team that came up with the brainstorming at the beginning. We also have student ambassadors here at school. And so we asked them a lot of questions about like, what would they like to see? How do you think you should earn points? What's fair? How do we make this fun for everybody? So we did those types of things and asked a lot of questions at the beginning to get started. Next was assigning houses. So this was our first year. So in order to make it most efficient, we essentially just went through each class list once class were established and drew names out and made the classes as balanced as possible. So we have 4 houses, purple, yellow, black, and green. And at the beginning of the school year, we just assigned, okay, these 5 kids are in the black house, these 5 are in the yellow house, these 5 in the purple, these 5 in the green, until we went through all the kids in the class. And we did the same thing with staff members and kind of just said, you're in this house, then this house, then this house, then this house, then repeated. No master science to it for this first year. Just want to make sure that there were kids in every class that were in every house. And we wanted to make sure like all the teachers in the same grade level were assigned to different houses. All the office staff was assigned to different houses, to promote conversations between staff and kids that you don't maybe normally talk to, just to do something different. When new kids come in, we do the same thing, look to see what house was assigned last and assign them the next one. In the future, when new kids come in, we're going to have them spin a wheel and they will get to then the wheel will decide which house they're going to be in. And we do the same thing with staff. See who was assigned last, what house is next. But with new staff, we are also going to move to a system where they spin the wheel and get to see what house they're in next. So like I said, we did this because we want to establish community and unity, and building something smaller within the bigger organization of the school. So one of the first things we did with our staff members is we had a scavenger hunt at our summer PD retreat. And so they did the scavenger hunt by their houses, which was awesome because they're working with people that they may not normally work with because they're different, teach different subjects and different grade levels, different content areas. So they got to know some different people. And they did a scavenger hunt all over our town. So they had clues they had to solve. They had to jump in their cars, drive around town, find different things. This picture, you had to take a selfie with a police officer. They actually found 4, which was pretty cool. Or I'm sorry, 5. And which is pretty cool. And they were super excited about that. As you can see, tweet your picture so we can see the progress that you're making. And then we awarded points to the houses at the end of the scavenger hunt based on what tasks they were able to complete and who came in first, second, third, and fourth. We want to establish something with our houses where everybody is all in. There's buy-in from everybody. So it was important to have conversation about what's going to be important to teachers, what's going to be important to staff members that aren't classroom teachers, what's going to be important to 5th graders, 4th graders, and 3rd graders. Everybody's going to be looking for something different. And we want to establish excitement for something new and something different that's building unity and community within our school. So like I said, we have 4 houses, and each week we announce an update on the total number of points. So you can earn points several different ways, and we're planning to add to this in the future, but we wanted to make sure we started small and it was something that we can manage. This is a great way to get lots of people involved in something that's common, and there's so many things you could do that don't make it complicated, and it's easy to track. Um, our system is not a perfect science yet, but things are working really well, and kids and staff are pumped and competing and excited. So one thing we do is weekly attendance. Every week we keep track of the classes that have the best attendance rate, and then if you have the best attendance rate in your grade level, every kid in your class gets 20 points toward their house. And if you have the second best attendance rate in your grade level, then every kid in that class gets 10 points toward their house. So it's interesting because we made it as balanced as possible. This doesn't make a huge difference when you're adding up the points, but once in a while there's a class that has maybe 5 kids instead of 4 kids in the house. And so we start to see those little differences. And then when certain classes keep getting the best attendance each week, it does make a difference. We're also doing pop-up days to earn points. So one day this year we did a pop-up color day where the color of your house, we announced it the day before. It's pop-up for a reason. We're not going to announce it so that everybody can plan. But we want to make it fun and exciting so you can grab something to put on that's the color of your house. Also, another pop-up thing we do is we have take-home Chromebooks. And so we do a pop-up where we just make an announcement on the intercom. Teachers check your Chromebooks in the classroom in the morning, and a point for every kid that has their Chromebook fully charged when they get to school. So little things that we don't do all the time, but kids never know when that's going to happen. So they always have to be prepared. In the cafeteria, every Friday we do wheel spins. So we have a game show wheel that is a dry erase board, and you can write on it different prizes. And so we have 8 different prizes written on the wheel, and kids get to come up and spin the wheel. So how you get picked to spin the wheel is we are the Bobcats. So we pass out paws, which are just little pieces of paper with a paw print on it. And if you're being respectful, responsible, caring, or safe, and going above and beyond during the week, any staff member can give you a paw for any of those reasons, or going above and beyond. You write your first and last name on the back of your paw, and when you stop at lunch, you drop it in the house bin. We have one bin for every house. So then every Friday, we draw a paw from each bin, each house bin, at each lunch. So there are 4 winners at each lunch because we have 4 houses. And then if your name is drawn, you get to come up and you spin the wheel. And on the wheel, we have all kinds of different prizes. You can change the prizes. We have draw from the prize box, guest announcer on announcements, 10 extra points for your house, 100 extra points for your house, extra recess, first in line for lunch and recess. But probably the most popular is steal 100 points. So if you get this one, then you get to steal 100 points from any other house. And that's super exciting. Anytime this kids get points toward their own house, everybody in the cafeteria goes crazy because they're excited for their house that's getting those points. I also forgot to mention we have a PBIS room. It's a game room with a ping pong table, foosball, Papa Shot basketball, pool table, Wii gaming system, stacking cups, board games, kinds of fun stuff like that. And you can also spin on the wheel and win a chance to go to the PBIS room. If you get PBIS room or recess, then you get to pick 5 kids to go with you. So that's a bonus because you get to pick some friends to go with you and hang out with them, which is awesome. So that's a lot of fun, and it's been working really well for us, earning those points and announcing the points each week. At the end of the quarter, we just finished our first quarter a couple weeks ago, and we announced which house won. And the winning house is getting a brag tag for all their backpacks or their lanyards, wherever they choose to put that. And we're also having a popcorn party for the winning house. So we'll have approximately 180 kids come down to the cafeteria to have their popcorn party and get their brag tags, which will be really exciting. Also, throughout the year, we're going to be using Exact Path trophies that students earn NWEA growth that they've made. And then pop-ups, like I said, color days, Chromebooks, sharpened pencils, and staff compliments as well. We want to try to make our points something that's concrete and doesn't rely on adults making decisions about the points that you get. It's really hard to not be biased and pick 3 people that are being really quiet in line, but the next adult watching that line may not do the same thing. So it's really hard to keep it consistent. So we figured that if we stick with data like attendance and things like that, it's an easier way to make sure that points are as fair as possible. At the end of the year, we're going to award a cup, like the Stanley Cup, and engrave the winning house on it. So that'll be super exciting. So most importantly, we want to celebrate kids and celebrate the great things that they're doing. So having our houses and everybody working towards a common goal is exciting. Kids love it. Staff members love it. Staff members have been making signs before the pop-up day, going down the hall, reminding kids, hey, wear purple tomorrow, so forth and so on. Just having fun and celebrating, being here, being together, and working towards a common goal. So that's our house system. Super excited to implement it this year, and kids and staff are loving it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.